Hey folks, ET here coming at you with a week ahead look. So today we are going to be covering CVNA, Carvana, DLTR, that's Dollar Tree, and JPM, which is obviously JP Morgan Chase. Last week I think we had JPM up and it did not go as well. It went up instead, so we'll go ahead and see what that looks like, how the data changed throughout the week, kind of changing how price went there. All right, so first up is CVNA. Interesting look here. What I'm really looking for here is if we can hold 85. I like to look both ways on a lot of these tickers. All right, we can hold 85. We could have some room up. There's a big level up here, obviously up to 100 if we start to get more positive momentum. If we do not, all right, what I'm looking for, if we break 85, I'm looking for simply 77.33, that support, which lines up really nicely with a gamma level right here as well, which is a pull. Red is pull, remember that. So what I'm looking for is a break of 85 for the short side and a nice pull down to this 77.33 or this 75 level as we go along. If we got 65, that would be phenomenal, but that would be quite a big drop. So let's just see how that pans out. I do anticipate if it doesn't bounce and hold 85, that's what's going to happen. If it does, consolidates above, and we get back up, we have a chance to go up a little bit higher than that. But I'm leaning more short side on this one, but I like to give you kind of an idea of what both ways might look like, just in case it does hold. That way we're not trying to short a big run up. So keeping an eye there with that. I will say keep an eye on its dark pool. Its largest aggregate right now is 83.34, so losing that would be very good for downside. Keep an eye there as a bounce as well. All right, if you do go short side for some reason, make sure you have 83.34 on your chart so you know if it continues to lose that it's got some room down to that 75 we were eyeing. All right, very simple look. You can do almost everything you need on a couple of things. Actually, you can actually add the dark pools to these charts as well. It just gets a little muddy, a little too many things on my screen for me as we go along, but you can add those so you can get a bigger picture and you can kind of zoom in and zoom out so you can get a clearer picture there. All right, DLTR, Dollar Tree, coming up next. This is an interesting one to me. It's been doing pretty well. It's been on a nice little run up here. What I'm looking for is this 151.25. Okay, 151.25, a reject there or a reject at 155. All right, if pay attention, if we start to see a bunch of bullish flow and we break 155, I will see how it stays above there, and if it does, then it's more of a long for me. If it does not, if we get up to 151.25 or 155 and we can't stay above very long, then I'm looking for very simply a nice pull down to this 140, which lines up very well with a support level down here, right? 140, 138.71, those are close within range. So 140 would be my target as it decided to go down for the short side. All right, but pay attention, as I said, keep an eye on what happens at 151, 155 before any decisions are made. That is exactly what I will be doing. Okay, I'm not going to just blindly jump in. If it gaps down Monday morning, then obviously that's a big X, right? Then it's definitely not a short side look for me. But we can go both short and long. We do not have to have a bias. We really just want to follow the trend and the sector trend. So if we start seeing this sort of retail store, this brick and mortar store sector start to push up, then we know that we probably don't want to short it yet until it gets up to one of these higher levels. All right, so that's DLTR. Let's go ahead and take a look at its dark pools real quick. Largest levels at 148.73 right here. So if we just take a look at the chart again, 148.73, it's right around there. We're beneath that, so that could also be a spot we watch for a rejection point. And if we get above it, then it consolidates for a few hours above or a day, then we know that there might be some more long side left. So keep that marked on your chart as well. Very simple. Just two different screens to help you get through all of the things. So 148.73, mark that on your chart as well. All right, JPM has been a nightmare for me a few times. I have tried to short this and actually been somewhat successful, but only in scalps before it went completely the opposite direction as it just continues to make all-time highs. Very simple, holding 187.50, let's say, is very important for any upside to 190. All right, if we hit 190, this is just definitely two ways. If we start bouncing here at 187.50, or if we manage to somehow get down to this 175 and price holds, I am going to look for more longs back up to 190. Okay, not a huge move from 187.50 at all, right? Or 187.87 for sure. 190 is, sorry, yeah, 190. 190 isn't the biggest move. 197 does have some pull up there, but 190 would be the target for the long side. Okay. What is interesting to me though is that even though we have some higher pulls and some higher levels up here, we are very far detached currently from our largest aggregate dark pool level. If you know me, you know I like to find these divergences between where price is and what our largest aggregate is, and I start paying attention to the data to go that direction. If we happen to be low and JPM if we happen to be low in price and the largest aggregate was up here, then I would start anticipating more longs. But this is one of the reasons why I've been viewing short sides, and JPM can move like a little bit of a slug, and it's one of those ones that I really like the cons to be at the money and at least 2 weeks out. I know you can catch a big move and get a few extra 100% if you catch it in a day that it happens to go the direction you want, but I like a little bit safer plays at those 10 to 30% and just kind of let it take its time to get there. So this is a very big inflection point for me right here at 179.17, and I'm gonna keep a big eye on that for any short side information. Lines up closely, $4 off with this positive gamma here. And if you shrink down to some lower time frames, you'll get some different. This is the daily, obviously. If you shrink down to some lower time frames, you'll see some of those other levels start to pop up throughout there. I just like to take a look at the daily for gaps, right? Where are we? We have one above, obviously, even though we're at all-time highs, and we have a little bit below here at 175 to keep an eye on. So I like to watch that as we go along, and you can also kind of scroll around, move your mouse to see where did we also have points of contention for price. Very simple. We see some at 164.31. That would be one hell of a drop. So not anticipating that unless the entire sector and the market starts to melt down. We will see how that goes. So that is JPM for us. Another one to keep an eye on. Just mark these levels on your charts, folks, that I've pointed out. Mark them on your charts. What I do is I simply set alerts. So if my phone will tell me it is time to recheck the data and enter the position. Something simple you can do is you can simply just go to live flow if you want and look in and see if there's anything interesting going on there, right? You can go ahead and check its customer sentiment. You can go into its options page and check to see what its back test says about what's going on. You can check its price distribution, all those things. Just kind of give it a look. But I like to simply go by support, resistance, gamma, and dark pool. That's the trifecta that I really like to use. Just to see where we are in relevance to our largest levels and our biggest pulls and support resistances that are historical. All right, so that is all for now. Everybody have a good day. Stay safe out there and go get that Oprah money.